going to be able to keep going with that momentum and not, just get too pressured and maybe collapse.
I'm a bit of a realist, so I think no team probably has more than like a 14% at most chance of winning TI. I don't think there's anyone who's like a massive favorite to win. I think they have a good chance. I think they have no reason to believe they can't do it. But is it likely? No, there's not. No team is likely to win TI. It's like a hard competition.
Wog is a hater. You heard it here, folks. But we have a game, finally. We have everybody. They've made it into the game. They're logged in. We've got a smoke from VP. And we just have to hope that, these teams are feeling fresh and ready to go and that they didn't cool off during that break time.
Yeah, gotta keep your fingers warm. Probably not a big problem, though, after the first and second game. I bet these guys are wide awake and warmed up. Boxy? Look at him. He's behind them.
It's a brave little grandma right there. He's getting a lot of information,
He doesn't
dropping
know.
down the sentry early. See that courier flopping on by.
That's funny. Drops the ward and realizes, oh, I was in danger. But look at how he walks out, carefully hugging the tree line on the walkout, because he knows the ward vision of that high ground ward, if they placed it, would have seen him if he went lower. So he stays undetected as he moves out there.
There's the horn. The start of game 3 officially has begun. Looks like it'll be an even split on the runes for both of these teams.
Yeah, keep it fair. And nothing too surprising going on with the laning from the side of either of the teams. You might have expected perhaps that Disruptor would have laned top. There could be one little switch up here. They actually have Clockwork pairing up with the Luna. But I think this is better because double range is pretty good to put pressure on the Faces Void on the off lane. So VP just favoring having Clock and Luna together.
It was not meant.
Just taking a look at each of these lanes here, trying to figure out which one is most likely going to be the most brawly out of all of them.
Yeah, quite likely we're going to see a lot of fighting on top lane. Bottom lane as well, though. Continuous harassment is probably going to be the name of the game here from VP. Matumba just going to try and get away with farming. But top lane, probably going to be the most contested from both sides.
I will say they're doing a pretty good job of harassing in this top lane. See that scatter blast coming out. Boxy, though, needs to be a bit careful. They do hit decently hard. How is the harassment in this bottom lane? I feel like this could be very difficult, especially for Insane if he's not careful, right? Because you've got, this Visage who's going to be able to nuke eventually. You've got the Thunder Strike coming out from Hakoda. So it's not the easiest.
Not the easiest. He has his job cut out for him here that he has to protect Matumba Man. But on the other hand, I think once they have time dilation, they're probably quite strong here in this lane.
You see that nuke, though, like we said, the harassment over onto Insania.
Yeah, they have the synergy as well. It's the purple boys, Void and Witch Doctor. Yeah.
They have matching t-shirts. I was thinking that perhaps we'd see, rotations coming out for these water runes. I feel like rune contestation is going to be very, very important, especially just for both of these heroes, right? Although it looks like
so close.
Get this bottom lane, yeah, they get a couple of these hits off over onto DM. And there it is.
Alright, so they get 2 kills over on the side of VP. Top lane was a real brawl there with a Snapfire Cookie trying to save the axe, but still gonna go down. So big win for VP on the top lane. And then a bit of a trade.
It definitely had the action break out in multiple lanes at once. With both heroes going down, one for each side, but everybody's back to the lanes now.
Feeling refreshed and back to the lane, back to the action.
Nice
Maledict.
glimpse away. Poor Insane, he literally just teleported back to the lane and has like a third of his HP because of all the damage that they can output.
Yeah, he did have a salve though, so he's gonna be completely fine. Just get his HP back up again. Top lane, we now see Axe and Snapfire trying to utilize the pull a little bit here and actually farm the jungle camp as well as the lane. Trying to get themselves an advantage here.
That is one thing that does feel nice when you have a hero like Axis. He's able to cut the waves a bit and force Ramses into kind of an awkward position for going for those last hits.
Yeah. One lane that we haven't talked about too much right now as well is the mid lane. For now, it's 18-5 on the last hits for SF and 16-2 on this Tiny. So Tiny doing pretty well. I think generally I don't like melee heroes or short-ranged heroes against SF, but Tiny has so much HP that he can actually be fine. He doesn't really run a great risk of dying to a triple race.
Looks like, again, another split on the water runes. Nothing too crazy. Top lane, though, do get a cookie hop over onto the Luna and the call. Nice push back, though, with the cogs coming out from Yamish. Gonna make sure that he can keep Ramses alive. In the bottom lane, Insania is gonna just get clicked down here. We talked about the potency of these two heroes, and they're definitely showing up in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and the nice thing about pairing up the Disruptor into the Face's Void lane is that he can do this.
Yeah, there's a toss-up, and we will see the rotation from Boxy. He's got the cookie hop, following up with the Scouter Blade. GPK needs to be so careful. He's going to be forced back as Boxy continues to chase after him. He's got Boots, though, on the Shadow Fiend. Boots over on Boxy, too, but I believe he's just a little bit faster, although he's sitting a bit low. Does pick up that bounty rune as he's getting chased. Bottom lane, though, they'll find the kill on Kokoda while all this is going down.
Wow, he actually does survive on GPK, but all this time that he's trying to run away, Boxy's still on him, chasing after him.
Yeah, Mickey's here with the avalanche. He's like, alright, he's low enough. Thank you, I will take that.
That's actually a worst case scenario, that you survive for so long and then you die. That's much more painful than just immediately dying. So that wasted a lot of time. Yeah, exactly. Mickey gets that kill. Bit of advantage now for Tiny.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, well. Now we're putting the pressure on Zai, realizing that Boxy wasn't there, but the cookie hop from Boxy will ensure that Zai will survive. And let them know that they can't harass him as strongly as they could before, now that he's back as a support. He's going to rotate over here, though. We have the runes coming up, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some sort of rune control coming out from these teams. So when it comes up, it is an Invis rune here for GPK. He's more than happy to take that.
Yeah, the 6-minute rune, the power rune is quite important to help out with. The water runes can sometimes be fine to just leave, but the power rune, you definitely want to get the first one, so SF might have a chance to rotate with that. No lucky bounces on the cask.
There's some continued harassment over onto Mati. They still have that vision. You can see Insania trying to get some body blocks off, but now he might end up dying for this. Yes, they will indeed finish off with the damage.
Matumba wants to try and get some farm, but Hakoda again gonna come up with the Thunder Strike probably if he sticks around for too long. This Thunder Strike is so annoying because you can't just time walk off the damage. Usually Faces Void is hard to harass with spells, but Tiny. Looking for
Mickey
it.
in the bottom lane takes this rotation. He's gonna go a little bit deep here as he sees Hakoda. He's got the avalanche toss up into the air. Not quite enough burst damage though. Does have to be a bit careful as Matu makes his way over, jumps into the tree line with the time dilation. He's got to close the gap over on Hakoda. He's getting close enough, but he's going pretty far for this, as it looks like Hakoda's gonna survive. So rotation from Mickey, but it doesn't end up yielding any sort of a kill. However, it does push them back and allow some of this damage on the tower, and a little bit more breathing room for Matu to hit creeps.
Yeah, Mickey's sticking around. He's being very persistent here. DM is very bothered by this. He has to hide in a tree line, and they're hitting a nice power spike where Visage is not level 6 yet. So he's not ready to fight. And because of this, they can bully him back and take this tower. It's gonna go down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There's a lot of heroes in the bottom lane right now. Boxy also rotating over. Mickey heading back to the middle line here.
This is such a big win, though, for Liquid. Usually you don't manage to take the enemy off lane tower before they take your safe lane. So this mixes things up a little bit. Oh, Foxy, gotta get caught out.
Yeah. He uses the Fairy Fire. He's not going to be able to use the cookie to get out, though, so we'll end up dying. But that is two supports rotating to the mid lane.
It's not super costly. GPK is going to be happy about the kill, but it doesn't matter that greatly. But yeah, as I was going to say, the bigger problem now for VP is that they're not going to have as much access to the map as they would like.
The avalanche toss back here to Insane. He's got the Maledict. Boxy canceling out. Oh my goodness. No Requiem of Souls for you, GPK.
I could just see that backfiring, just Snapfire jumping in and the SF gets the ulti out and he just blows him up in the air.
I think you've had too many missed cookie hops, Maga, if that's where your brain goes first.
That's probably
Matu,
true.
though, throws out the Chronosphere. He can't hit Hakoda, though. He's going to have to run back and get away from these birds that are causing a big problem, but they're baiting a little bit as Boxy. They both go drop the wards, try to get a couple of these bounces off. We'll land over onto Matu. Matu going to walk right into Yamich, into the cogs. He's going to fall. And the follow-up here from Liquid will ensure that they get the kill on DM, but now they're a little bit too far out of position, it feels. GPK, Yamich, both here. Hakoda running around in circles. They'll end up finishing off Insania. Boxy doesn't have that cookie, not going to be able to run away. As on the back line, Mickey trying to close the gap. Coda getting tapped done over by Boxy, but they'll get off the Requiem of Souls this time around, and they'll end up getting the kill on Mickey. Boxy just going to be able to go and get the D-ward, but he's going to end up dying for this for sure.
Okay, Liquid's positioning was way too deep there. That was not the place to be. The Clockwork can just TP in behind and get the kill. GPK getting a triple on the back of this. All this was enabled, by the way, by a nice little play by Disruptor at the start of that fight. Matumbo was trying to get the Chrono and immediate kill on Disruptor, but he got the kinetic field down. Like he said, he couldn't reach him in that Chrono, right? And everything happened on the back of that. They just overcommitted on Liquid.
It felt kind of weird the way they were sending in people one by one at that point, but again, perhaps they thought that they could recover and make these plays, but a good response coming out from Virtus.pro. And now they're smoked up, making their way top. They want to cause some problems for Zai, and in fact, this is looking like a very dead axe. So GPK now dominating. Oh, but the follow-up with the Avalanche and the Snapfire kisses. Oh my god. So much damage. Not going to be able to quite finish off GPK here.
Oh, he's running his wind blaze.
Close. He's doing everything. Mickey, though, closing the gap. Avatos, plus that little bit from the Scatter Blast will ensure they get the kill.
Yeah, they get him, but they didn't manage to get the kill that they probably wanted up here, which was the Luna. She got out in safe time, and Visage is pushing bottom. Meanwhile, the kill on SF is great, but I still think VP are doing a good job getting more stuff done during the time that was used for this rotation.
It's going to send the birds back to finish off the tower. And DM's just going to teleport away. He's done his job here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Ramses is just tucking away to full farm mode. He's going for the greedy 1-3-4 skill build here. So maxing out on the jungling capabilities and the right clicks. No Eclipse gonna come out early here.
I feel like that's such a Ramses thing to do, though. Like, anyways, hook shot into the top lane. We'll go and hold Mickey into place. A good avalanche, though. We'll slow them down. A little bit of that Maledict over on Hakoda. Throwing out the kinetic field. Just trying to support these two heroes. Get the Tumbler's Toy forward. Want to finish off Mickey. They're going to have to chase a little bit more. They can't quite close it out. There it is. They follow up, but here comes Matu. Nice static storm being thrown up by Hakoda. They're not going to be able to go and get that Chronosphere off immediately like they might have wanted. And Matu taking a lot of damage. Does manage to go get GPK in the Chrono, but he gets glimpsed back. A nice play coming out from Disruptors. Now Boxy going to end up falling to Yamich, and then Insania will die to GPK. Coda not going to have the glimpse up for a little bit longer. Will be able to get himself a courier snipe, though, on the way out.
Hakoda is just the nightmare of Matumba Man here. He's not allowed to do what he wants. He puts down a Chrono and he's never allowed to hit. And it's always Hakoda's fault. He glimpses him out of the Chronosphere, just like he kinetic fielded him earlier, preventing any damage output.
That positioning is actually just so good coming out from him. Like you said, you know, the kinetic field earlier. He's had a couple glimpses in several of the games now that have just totally thrown Matu off. Honestly, whenever he sees this Disruptor, it feels like Matu is going to have to just push that BKB well in advance, because half the time this little guy is going to have the Aghanim Scepter, or he's just going to have something that's going to cause Matu to not be able to get the objectives that he wants.
Yamich just hiding, but he's not allowing Matumba Man to farm here. He's being so confident on Clockwork. He's even, what? He's just diving in?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little weird considering he's right by a tower, so they should be able to, yeah, get a kill on Yamish.
Okay, that was a bit weird. I was gonna say that it's really nice he's not allowing the Faceless Void to farm, but then he decides to just run under the tower. I'm not sure what was going on there. Meanwhile, though, the Luna cleared up a quadruple stack on the Ancients, so she's getting absolutely huge during this time.
Ooh, we're gonna...
Radiant are scanning.
Okay, alright. I was getting trolled briefly. There was an Aghanim's, I think, queued up over on this Luna. I was like, whoa, Ion Cannon Luna. That's a choice.
We might see Aghanim's later on for sure, especially with new Shard, how that works. We're probably not going to see an early Shard, but we might see it purchased later. It can actually be very, very strong, but it's not as good of a value Shard as the old one was, where you just buy it early, and it's good for farming, good for fighting, good for everything. This one is only good for fighting. Of course, it is the one where you get damage per beam hitting the enemy heroes.
And as you said, Ramsey's going for the greedier build here. Definitely one of those players that likes to hit his creeps. So, makes sense that it ends up turning back around and is just going to go finish up the BKB, which is pretty important when you consider all this lockdown coming out from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, certainly. I would like to see Liquid make more moves with the Snapfire ulti and the Axe now. They have the Blink and the Vanguard. I feel like Axe can blank in and they can follow up with more and more kisses. They need to keep looking for kills because I think VP are pulling ahead and I think VP have the stronger late game here too.
Alright, well they are playing together here over on the side of Liquid. You see Zai and Boxy paired up and they're making their moves over
the
towards
illusion.
the...
Oh no, oh no, no, don't. Okay, it's nighttime actually saves. They don't see it because of the nighttime, but
I mean,
maybe
they're sending
now.
it over.
Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's
No,
pretty
they're
obvious.
it's just sitting there, yep. Tier 2 though is getting pressured a bit here by the side of VP. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna make any sort of rotation to defend it or if they're just gonna, yeah, throw down a flare. But
I like how Ramses is not even joining for that. He's like, yeah, you guys pushed it tier 2. I'm just gonna hit jungle. I'm gonna keep farming. They trade their mid-tier 1 tower for it, but that gives them full access to the Radiant jungle now. And Liquid's map is starting to get a little bit smaller.
have a completed BKB for GPK now. Wraith Pact, like we talked about, it's on the Visage.
They have
This
an
time,
insane power
okay.
spike. Yeah,
I like this.
Double
Hakoda
BKB
is going-
and Wraith Pact.
Hakoda is going for more of a utility this time around for one of his first items instead of just looking straight for... Oh boy. Oh, I thought for sure we were going to see the glimpse on Mickey.
I'm not gonna pull him back.
Alright.
I like this though. I like the Glimmer Cape that he's choosing to go back for that instead of rushing all the way towards the Aghanims. I honestly think it's overrated to not have any item for so long on Disruptor. It takes forever to get the Aghanims.
They do have a ward behind their own tower, so they can see that there is a GPK waiting patiently. Curious to see if they're going to try to go for a call. Side starts moving forward. You can see they've got those birds up. They'll throw out a cast, a couple bounces, be able to cancel out the blink. Hook shot in over onto Zai. Nicely done by Yamish as they have all of these birds. Cookie Hop out of the cogs will come into play, but in comes this Luna, and they'll follow up though with the Chronosphere. The Snapfire Kiss is absolutely wrecking havoc. Not quite enough damage though to finish off over on Yamish. So it's a lot of ultis, but not anybody dying just yet. DM though is separated a little bit as Matu finding the opening over onto GPK. They'll be able to get the kill now that that BKB is down, and they needed something cancel out the TP of DM. Zai just a little bit too slow here. Not going to be able to provide the call that was needed.
Wow, that was a really good fight by Liquid. I didn't expect them to be able to win a fight into double BKB timing with the Wraith Pact as well. I thought that VP were going to be strong enough there, but nice positioning, nice saves with the cookie snap. They're really coordinating well there.
That instant aggressive smoke, though, coming out from Liquid after that, hoping that they could catch any sort of stragglers. That is some serious aggression. And again, you know, they use so many ultis. They use the Chronosphere, they use the Clips, they use Snapfire Kisses.
Yeah, I think also this smoke is not just to look for kills, but always when you have a team fight, that might give you some time to plant down visions. Of course, it serves double purpose. They look for Ramses a little bit, didn't find him, but they also get that award on the Ancients, which is quite important because that's where Luna likes to hang out, right? This is like places I like to go as a Luna.
A little book here as Mickey does it. Oh, the nice grouping up here though with those cogs. They put out a decent amount of damage over to Yamich. Is it enough though to keep Mickey alive? Good cookie. Happy's got to get out of that static storm that they have the glimpse. So they'll end up losing Mickey. They'll end up losing Insania. A nice strike back from the side of VP.
Yeah, they want to go Roche right now. They have the damage. They have a lot of damage between SF and Luna. The aura is level 2 already, and they're just going to go straight in for it. Don't see how they can contest this without Chronosphere and with Tiny dead.
Yeah, you're seeing that they're not even really paying much attention over to that area as I's just continuing to farm up. He's got a BKB queued. Foxy trying to safely push out this wave here, but we'll need to just back off as they come out of that pit.
Yeah, so now they decide to put it on the Shadow Fiend, this Aegis. I guess that's because Ramses knows that he wants to farm and play pretty greedy here and keep growing. So using the SF more aggressively, letting him join the fights. I expect the Ramses Luna to keep hitting creeps a lot. They might still go for some tower pushes because Liquid might be too scared to defend. And they are moving for tier 1 top. Meanwhile, Zai is waiting for anyone to show on the bottom creep wave. But Yamich is also just sitting around. It's sort of a stare down here.
Yeah, he's just playing it safe, using the rocket flare to push out the wave. And they're able to take the tier 1 while all this is going down. VP feeling very confident now that they have this Aegis. Put pressure on the tier 2.
Yeah, they're in a great spot right now. They have everything, like I mentioned. The key timing was already there. Now with the Aegis as well. It's just gonna be very difficult for VP or for Liquid to fight VP until they have the BKB on Faceless Void. I don't see how he can move in these fights.
I think he will move wherever this disruptor decides to put them half the time. But Boxy this time gets the little free trip back to where he started.
Yeah, you're right about that. He already got glimpsed out of the Chronosphere. At times they definitely didn't want to, so Matumba, he wants that BKB. It's high up on his wish list.
Just not sure that Virtus.pro is going to give them the amount of time that they're going to need to really get it online and running.
And
Feeling
now
very
with a full
powerful.
pipe. Yeah, DM has a lot of damage mitigation now with the pipe as well completed.
Oh, wow.
So even Snapfire Kisses will struggle a bit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, pressure on into the mid lane. They do have the Chronosphere available. They also have Snapfire Kisses if they want to try to make any sort of a play. But it seems like they just want to focus up on this BKB. That is the priority. They have enough to pick up the Ogre Club. Sorry, the Ogre Axe.
Yeah,
If
he's closing in, but he still has a long way to go. And it seems like right now, GPK, he knows where Matumman is. He's drawing. He's like, let's go there. Let's find him. Some nice scribbles down here on the minimap.
He can definitely, his spidey sense is tingling on Matu. He's already hiding in the tree line. He's like, something doesn't quite seem right, but he's gonna come back out. That's ooh, this might be a dead Matumba, man.
Spidey senses versus greed. Oh,
They see
my
him.
greed.
Can they get there fast enough? Can they get the hook shot? They get the hook shot over onto Matu. Battery assault plus the lucent beam. He's gonna try to run away over here to the corner. We'll end up getting glimpsed back, and they just have so much damage. They just burst down Matu.
He dunks one of the birds. That's rude, Sai. It's gonna go on cooldown though when you do that, but he, of course, gets the speed to run away at least.
Double damage run around the Roche pit. DM cleaning up over in this mid lane. They'll take over the outpost on the side of VP.
Okay, DD Rune over on Mickey is gonna be useful, but he still doesn't have the Aghanim. Since he opted to go for that BKB first, he doesn't have any DD Avalanche with Aghanim's combo.
All the pings coming out. They had seen Zai. They were hoping they could get their hands on him, but not going to be the case today, as it is just so very little map space for the side of Liquid. And see, Insania is just kind of Trying to get whatever he can up here in this top lane.
Yeah, VP are saying they're not going to use this Aegis to push high ground. They only have 1 minute, so they had to make the decision there. If they want to break high ground with Aegis, they had to go already. So they're just backing, going to keep farming. I think next Roshan is their intention, that they're going to break high ground with that one. And Liquid right now, all their players are in their base. They're going to smoke to try and go out and do something, but the lanes are not fantastic right now. There's a creep wave coming in mid, and if no core is farming it, that is going to signal VP that something is up. So Matumba farms it. That means the smoke gang is not really happening anymore.
They're still holding on to a double damage on Mickey, so perhaps they're hoping that they'll find some sort of a straggler, but it definitely doesn't feel like Virtus.pro is going to give them the opportunity to do this at all. We do have the shard, though, now over on Insania. He was hard at work farming that up in the enemy jungle. The only safe place when your enemies have invaded your jungle.
Yeah, he has the shard and he has 1700 gold now, so he has, you know, a little bit of money to work with. Question is what he can buy that has big impact here. He's not actually going for something like a Glimmer. I wonder if he's even considering going, like, saving up for the Aghanims, perhaps. It does work with the shard, so it has nice synergy.
Don't know. Do you have the BKB, though, finished from Matumba Man? So this time, if he plays his cards right, Hakoda's not going to be able... Oh. Hakoda, what a nice static storm. Matumba Man just going to sit here patiently here. Do get it glimpse back over onto Zai. He's patient. Doesn't go for popping that BKB just yet. Holding on to the Chronosphere on top of everything else. So a little bit of a shock.
Imagine if that Disruptor was saving for Aghanims. He'd just be dead right now. But he had Glimmer Cave, because he didn't save for Aghanims. Look at that. Now he's around, he's useful, he can do stuff. I'm a big proponent of active +5 Disruptor, not the Aghanims poverty Disruptor.
There was this like campaign on TV a while back that would do like these little factoids, and there'd be a star that goes across the screen that's like, the more you know, and I feel like we just had that with you, Waga.
That was the more you know Glimmer Cape moment.
The more you know.
Glimmer Cape saves lives, you know?
I know, I'm a support player. I build it. I save my cores. Not always, though. Sometimes they're just way too far away from me, but I try.
Right now it feels like Liquid are trying to at least consolidate some form of control on the map, so they want to go towards top. And GPK is sitting around thinking if he can sneak a kill somehow, but there's a lot of Liquid players around.
Dire are scanning.
He does have a BKB, though, so... No, it looks like he's just gonna play it safe. I like this move, though. He doesn't need to be making any sort of big flashy plays, so... We'll just teleport out, continue to farm.
Yeah, he also doesn't have something like Shadow Blade, so he's not really built for getting solo pickoffs here, since he went for that Hurricane Pike. Which, by the way, I really like in this game. He can push back the Axe, and he can also push away the Void if he gets too close for comfort. Upgrading the Hurricane Pike early on SF in this game is a nice little play. Bottom, this tower is taking damage, like a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, DM has just parked himself down in this bottom area. We'll end up losing one of the birds. Other one should be alright.
You'll trade that for like 2,000 building damage or something for the tier 3? Tower is really low now. And that means that their high ground siege is going to be much easier. The thing about Luna, by the way, when you push high ground, is that if she cracks down the tower, then the glaives start bouncing around on the racks and deeper into the base, right? So when the tier 3 falls, Luna actually is very hard to stop from taking barracks. So this bit of damage she did to the tier 3 tower as Visage, it can be very a very bad sign for Liquid when they have to defend high ground later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you lose a fight mid-game against a Luna and she's on your side of the map, you're going to be losing a lot of buildings along with it too. But as expected, Boxy does end up picking up the Wraith Pack, so even though they don't have a natural Wraith Pack carrier, he does end up being the person to secure this item. And these damage from these rockets. Oof.
He's been working on it for a long time. The rockets are pretty nice with the Clockwork Aghanims. I still have yet to play it myself, but it seems very convenient. You can just spam out the rockets, get really big area of vision as well for every set of rockets you send out. And you can even push waves with it quite effectively.
No Roche up just yet. It's going to be another 40-something seconds, but you can see VP, they have their mind on the Roche. They probably want to get a pick off, though, before they go into this. There's just too much of a threat with the AoE coming off from the side of Liquid. Throw out another rocket.
they're
They can
under
see
a
that
ward.
size there.
That dire ward next to Roshan that they put is really crucial vision.
They can see it. I'm curious who's going to get the jump on who, because I have a feeling, we're going to see a smoke. We're going to see some sort of movement. It definitely feels like they have to be very cognizant, though, of all the birds, like, pushing into their base. All the lanes going to get shoved in.
Yeah, it's nice by DM that he's going back towards bottom lane. Even though the standoff is on Roche right now, it's important that he shoves bottom lane back and, again, threatens that tier 3 tower so that the timer is on Liquid. And when they make a move for the Visage, or if they send anyone back home, then they can start the Roshan. And they kill it fast enough too, so if anyone reacts bottom, they're probably not making it over in time to Roche Pit.
What's the better situation here? So obviously, Virtus.pro, they're feeling very confident. They've got a 7k net worth lead. They're feeling very powerful with their BKBs. Mid-game Luna, of course, is so incredibly potent. Well, I was ramping up to being, how are they going to approach this fight? But they just don't care. They just walk into the pit because you know what? They don't have Zai, they don't have Boxy, do really big AoE. Maybe you can get a snipe and get a steal if you want to pop the BKB and get into the pit with the chrono, but yeah, look, okay, they bait out the the follow-up though here from Yamich. They'll be able to go and grab the Aegis, so even though they force GPK to pop the BKB in anticipation, they'll still manage to come out ahead with the Aegis pickup and the Roshan kill.
Force the GPK, BKB. Yeah, they do force that. Very nice by VP, though. That was very methodical, just sending the Visage down to bottom. And, of course, when anyone showed bottom, they immediately just went for the Roshan, as expected. Liquid were not in time to punish. So it feels like they're very steadily just falling more and more behind. And even though Matumbaman has that Mjolnir, has the BKB, it feels like he's not going to have enough damage to kill the Luna on his own. And there's still the SF as well. Both of them are building up to be these huge threats. And over on the side of Liquid, we don't really have the same thing. This Tiny, Mika is not really having a game here because only 12,000 net worth, still no Aghanims, 1,000 gold away, and he won't have it by the time they go high ground if they go soon enough.
So what's ended up being the issue for Mika here? That he's just had, not necessarily a bad game, but just not a present game.
A little bit of the overextensions earlier that they made. They were diving deep under tier 1 tower mid, for instance. Tiny relies on getting kills.
Big fight coming up here. Get this site over onto Boxy. DK just sits back. They'll go in and grab some of these birds, but that's not really where you want to be because now Zai is stuck in the trees. Look at this damage coming out. Oh my god, Zai is just absolutely obliterated. In comes the Luna. Ramsey's cleaning up. The buybacks come out immediately. Liquid not happy that they got caught with the pants down here.
Yeah, split pushing with Void right now. They're trying to trade some damage.
But this Luna, again, if it's a mid-game Luna, you win a fight on the enemy side of the map, you're gonna end up losing lots of buildings. So, Matu is doing the best that he can, but I don't know. I don't think you win this trade.
Yeah, he's TPing home now, or he wants to. Oh wait, he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't have TP. What?
Oh my god, what? He doesn't have TP?
What? He doesn't have TP.
Oh my god, this is looking very, very bad for Liquid right now. I can't believe he doesn't have it.
What? Right. He's running.
Oh, he's definitely coming through from the other side. Perhaps he can catch them, but they are smoked up over onto the back lines. The opening Static Storm. All right, there we go. BKB and Boxy over here will be able to take down the Aegis first time, but they'll clean up over on the Snapfire. And now it's just Matu. He's kind of stuck in an awkward position. We'll go for the Chronosphere, but everything is happening at different points. There's a throw over here onto the Luna, who's kind of stuck in here. But look at the damage coming out. Matu, he's trying. He does get the bash up, but they call GG. They realize that they just cannot stand toe-to-toe. What a way to end this series, Waga.
A bit of an awkward end being stuck on the other side of the map there for sure, but it felt like even if they had the best possible fight that they could get, they just didn't really have the continuous damage output to kill both the SF and the Luna and the Visage. They were so far ahead on VP, and they just scaled better into mid and late game. So yeah, I feel VP, they looked very confident throughout the entirety of this game, and they played with 0 hints of stress. Ramses never died, and they were just very calm even after taking the first Aegis. They didn't go on high ground too early. They just knew the power spike was going to come later. Team Liquid, they didn't really have anything brewing in the same way. So, like I said, I felt like VP's draft was stronger, and they also show it. They played really fantastic.
Yeah, I actually have VP as one of my teams that's going to make it out of this last chance qualifier because they did look so strong earlier. Of course, they're playing under the name Outsiders at the time, but they were fairly dominant. And it was a little bit of a shaky start in the group stage. We both talked about that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it just matters that you get into upper bracket, you stay in upper bracket. So, you know, I think this game really highlights the fact that VP, they deserve to be up here. Liquid, also a fantastic team. Definitely having some trouble, though, I think, with Mickey on some of those heroes. He struggled a bit in this game. I think he struggled a little bit in the previous one as well. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but, you know, definitely solid performances coming out from GPK. Ramses, I have to say, Hakoda had some amazing just plays against just Matu alone, like being able to just totally disrupt those chronospheres and make them useless. And DM's pushing was very just on point, the way that he was able to move around the map.
Yeah, overall, I completely agree with all of that. I also feel like Zai had a very quiet game here, only 1-4-1. He didn't really get to do too much. He tried to combo with Boxy a little bit going together on the map, but VP dodged it really well. They recognized that Snap Fire Kisses with the Axe Call would be a dangerous combination, but they avoided well, and they just never really felt like they got caught out of position on VP. So I think maybe this problem of having heroes that rely on getting kills, like the Tiny and to a degree the Axe, and then not being able to get the squeeze on the opponent is why they ended up diving a little bit big on the mid lane. And suddenly they're just falling behind too much. They got punished, triple kill to GPK, and VP just run away with it more and more.
Yeah, you know, they just looked incredibly dominant. Virtus.pro is going to stay in this upper bracket, winning the series 2. Love to see more of GPK at Primal Beast, by the way. That was incredible to watch. But that is going to wrap it up for Waga and I. But don't fear, we have so much more Dota going on this stream today. We've got another, I think, upper bracket match, I believe. We have a couple more matches in any case, and you definitely want to stick around and watch them. But for us, that's it for us. We're going to say goodbye, and we're going to throw to break. And when you come back, you're going to have fresh casters, fresh game, and it's going to be an amazing day of Dota.